Go. Good day to you, my audience. My name is Samuel Thomas, and I'd like to give to you my scripted speech. Now, I prefer to get cozy into a speech before giving it, so I hope you don't mind my small chat. I was given the task to make a speech about some literary work, whether it be a poem or a short story. Now, this slightly interested me because I'm not a fan of poems, but I must admit, there are a few out there that I do love. One of them being from the author Robert Frost. Now, Mr. Frost wrote one of the most inspiring poems in my view. This poem did not only set me apart from my peers, but this poem also forced me, in a sense, to keep an open mind about many things. Now, I know the curiosity must be building up inside of you. What is this poem's name? Might you be asking yourself? Well, it's called The Road Not Taken. As I present this script to you, I will also be giving you my personal insight on this poem throughout the duration of me reading it. But before I begin reading, I'd like to give you some insight on Mr. Robert Lee Frost, along with some insight on his poem, The Road Not Taken. Robert Lee Frost was born on March 26, 1874, and died on January 29, 1963. He was an American poet whose work initially was published from England, but later came to America. Frost was regarded highly for his realistic depictions of rural life and his command of American colloquial speech. While on this note, most of his work were depictions of New England life in the early 20th century. To move further, The Road Not Taken is a poem which was made for mere mockery, which many people do not know. This mockery wasn't in a bad sense, but instead was to depict the walks he had with his dear acquaintance, Edward Thomas. Edward took this poem to heart and quite seriously, which was not the intention of Sir Frost, and used this as his last strike to join World War I. Thomas was killed 2 years later during the Battle of Arras. Giving this brief insight on both the author and the poem, I would like to now begin. The Road Not Taken by Robert Lee Frost. Two roads diverge in the yellow wood, and sorry I cannot travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though, as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how many the way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverge in the wood, and I took the one to let travel by, and that has made all the difference. Now, if you remember, I did say that this poem was not to be taken seriously as it may seem, but readers of all kinds, including Edward Thomas, saw this as a wake-up call. People saw this poem to be something greater than a mockery. Instead, they saw it as a chance, and then this being in my view, to take hold of the road that isn't taken by many. I personally opened my eyes when reading this poem, and within seconds, this short poem became one of my favorite poems of all time. Now, can you take a look at yourself and question what roads have you taken? Whether it was the road that was bent with undergrowth, meaning people walked there before, or had you taken the better claimed one, the one that seemed not to be taken by many? I questioned myself this and came to the realization that I took the road not many dared to travel. And for that, I was truly proud of myself. Not saying it's wrong to be one with trend, rather, separating yourself on different roads can help you further along the path. This has been my scripted speech. My name is Samuel Thomas, and I bid you all a very good day.